So y'all may be hearing some peeping in the background. That's because I have baby chicks hatched. I have both incubators completely full of eggs, and they're set to rotate. So I can hatch a few and then add more. I'm just going to continue to rotate baby chicks. Hopefully I'll be able to sell some. I know that it's been really hard for, I still cannot find turkey hatching eggs. We went to the auction last Saturday and a pair of turkeys sold for $75. That's the hen and the tom. And I'm hoping that I can just find some hatching eggs somewhere. Since I have a rotational hatching going on, I have the incubators full. I intend to keep them full. As I hatch, I'll just add more. As these baby chicks are hatching, I have an indoor brooder. It's just a bucket with a few shavings in it and keep water and feed to them. Now you can see these little guys have started growing their little feathers, their first feathers. The fuzz is going away, and it's time for me to move them to a bigger area so that I can clean this up and have it ready for my next batch of chicks to hatch. I haven't cleaned their brooder today because they're getting ready to go to the big brooder. Yesterday was a big accomplishment day for me, probably one of the biggest in several months. I've just been so distracted with so many things. You know, homesteading is a real struggle, guys. It's not just something that happens overnight, and sometimes we get slowed down. You just got to keep pushing forward and keep trying, and that's what I've been trying to do. If y'all want, come along with me and I'll show you how I created this bigger broody space. Okay guys, it's a bit windy outside. Actually, it's crazy windy outside, but I've got you underneath the plastic in the house that we built for the broody house. And I just want to show you a few things about how I've used what I have here around the homestead to try and get this going. But first, I want to show you something. You can see that the fuzz is going away and they're starting to get their wings. And what happens there is they start flying the coop on me inside the house. One day I came home and I had chicks all over the place. So that is my signal to tell me that I need to get them in a more secure place, a little bit bigger for them. They're just getting too hot under the light or getting too cold when I turn it off. So I think that they're going to like this new place. It's really warm. That is a actual brooder heat lamp there. And you can see that I have it hanging. I just put a eyelet in a piece of pallet wood that I had. Eyelet screw, I guess that's what you call it, hook screw. And tied some wire, which came off of one of my straw bales that I saved. And I made sure and tied it to the handle, not to the power cord. Now I had to run extension cord down from the house, and I've just got it tied up out of the way, and it's going through the small hole up there. This is an actual chick feeder that I have had since we had the farm the first time. It's just kind of kicked around the farm for all this time. And I zip tied it so that I could hang it with the wire. Again, wire that I took off of my straw bales. Guys, there's always a good use for wire. Never throw it away. Find a safe place to hang it or keep it, and you'll use it, I promise. Don't throw it away. Now, this floor of this is just, you can see, it's several inches thick with straw. And that's because I don't want them to get wet. I don't want any water in here. And we are on a hill here at the homestead, and water rolls downhill, of course. I'm hoping that all that water continues to run under this straw, and I believe it will because this has been in here for a week or so now, and it's rained several times, and it's still real dry here on top, just to keep my babies warm. Now, as for the waterer, when they're this age, we're still okay here because they will scratch around, and if you aren't careful, they'll fill the whole water up with pieces of straw and hay. So you'll notice that I have this sitting up on some boards now just to keep that at a minimum. Just a couple of pieces of wood that I found actually right outside the chicken coop here. So we're going to keep an eye on them and make sure that I mean, you can tell when they're cold because they'll be all huddled together on top of each other right underneath the light. And you also can tell when they're hot because they scatter out, and that's what they were doing in the house. It's a mild day today. We're going to have a gradual cool off going in towards the weekend, and I'm hoping that the birds will be able to adapt to that as we go along. But I will keep an eye on them, and if it seems like they're getting too cold, I'll take them back in the house. But I really think they're going to be okay out here. They'll be able to even get outside and get some natural sunlight if they want to. We'll come back and check on them later and see how they're faring. Also, for those of you that may be concerned about predators getting in, you'll remember that we put the chicken wire over the cattle panels, and that's just to keep any varmint out. And also, underneath these 2x4s here, we have buried chicken wire just to keep something from digging under and getting to them. Our major predator problem when it comes to our fowl is hawks. We have red-tailed hawks, and they have decimated my guinea flock. I'm down to one. The ducks lay eggs everywhere. I mean, there's no telling where you're going to find a duck egg. And they're laying fantastic. I just wish one would go broody. That pile right there is probably 24 of eggs under there. And I have my incubators full of duck eggs. So I need the help of a broody duck hen. They're just so messy with their eggs. When I came in last night, this hen was sitting on the nest. And here she is still today. I'm hoping that she's broody and going to hatch some eggs out for us. We'll see. Look at that beautiful light green egg. One of the disappointments that I had when we tried to do the farm before the first time was with the ducks. We had purchased some Muscovy ducks, and those ducks are not exactly pond ducks. At least the ones we had weren't, and they don't quack. They're a large duck and they do lay eggs, but I don't know. I've heard that they're sort of like a mule duck. You can't incubate their eggs. I don't know if that's true or not, but all those Muscovy ducks wanted to do is sit up there on the front porch and poop. And so I vowed I would never have them again. I ended up with ruined ducks this time, hoping that I would be able to train them to get on the pond. We have that green algae that comes back every year. The duckweed is what they actually call it, and it just takes over our pond. And I've heard that the ducks will really thrive eating that duckweed, and I'm hoping that they'll keep up with it. But when I first got the ducks, I won't lie, they would not go on the pond no matter how hard we tried. It was like they were scared of the green stuff. So this fall and over the winter, I've started training them to go down to the pond using cat food. The cat food will actually float. And so I throw it out on the pond and they swim out there, and about a week of doing that, and the ducks go straight down to the pond. They beat me to the pond just about every single day. I don't have to feed them cat food every day, but so far we had a little bit of that duckweed crop up, but there was a cold snap, and I don't know if the ducks have kept it ate away since the cold snap, because I haven't seen any, and we've had a lot of pretty warm days. Another reason I feed my ducks and chickens at the pond is to keep the chickens aware that there is a constant source of water for them. The problem is in the summertime when they scratch around in the chicken pen, mud and dirt and all kinds of debris gets into the watering system. I know that in a previous video I showed you that I set up the 5-gallon buckets with the little cups on them. Those things did not last very long. It started leaking. I even tried putting E6000 around them, and I don't know if I did something wrong or what. And they're pretty expensive to be replacing, at least for me, whenever I buy them MFA. I've just decided that it's better off if I just train my animals to go to the pond to get something to drink. And really, it's been working very good for them. Since I let them out every day, it's not a problem. Now, during the winter months, whenever it's cold and the pond is froze over anyway, I still have to carry water to them 2 or 3 times a day. But the other thing of getting them to have water at the pond is they keep my pond bank very clean. They're scratching around and keeping almost like a weed eating job. It's pretty awesome. Well, guys, it looks like they found their food. I'll wait around a little while to see if they make it to the water and know that they can eat and they know how to drink from here. I noticed this little guy's got a little bit of pasty going on. I'm going to have to clean that up. But they seem very, very happy to be out here. I know they're not cold because they're not huddled up underneath the light. Oh, Wobbles over there has the best crow in the whole flock. Alright, well, I've got to quit playing with the babies. It's time for me to get some more work done around the farm. I'll try and update you soon. Until next time, love and peace to everyone.